Shalom Aleichem. We're a week and a half to Hanukkah, so I guess we'll start preparing for Hanukkah. So we're learning Talmud Devorah, and last week also in Talmud Devorah we mentioned a little bit about Hanukkah. Because when you look deeper, Talmud Devorah has to do with the revealing of the 30 midot within my world, as an inspiration, as a request, as a prayer, as an activation that the Creator made to activate the great Yud Gimel Midot HaBachamim, the 13 Midot HaBachamim in the world. And Chanukah is the time that we see, not in a private person's life, but in our national, as a nation, we see the showing of the Yud Gimel Midot HaBachamim in our nation. What does that mean when mercy shines in our nation? So as a matter of fact, these two shuli, the topics that were coming up are they're similar in the nefesh. When they come to do inside, they're really similar. So Chanukah is a very big topic to talk about. There's so much chassidut, so much writing, there's so many angles. Even though Chanukah is a big mystery, because there's no Masechet Chanukah. I don't know if you ever wondered about it, but there's Masechet Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippurim, and Sukkah. Every Purim has Megillah, Masechet Megillah, one day holiday with the whole, right? And there's Halachot. Chanukah, which is Chag of 8 days, there's no Chag for it. There's no Masechet for it. It's very hidden. It's Salash about it.
Is that historically because it was
Because
it was later? Oh, it's actually.
Chanukah was at the end of the second temple. It was still for the end of it was still 200 years after that Beit Mikdash.
Where's May Hanukkah? Where's that little?
May Hanukkah?
May Hanukkah.
And Shabbat. Actually, this week's parasha also in Shabbat, over the Gemara Shabbat, over there discusses the part that discusses what you're allowed to light, what you're not allowed to light with on Shabbat. Discusses since Shabbat becomes a topic, so they say, listen, on Shabbos you can't use this oil and that oil and this oil and that oil because the light of Shabbat is the light of Shlom Bayit. The light of Shabbat is there for the purpose of bringing light to the house so we could eat and see each other and enjoy each other, and light brings shalom. The light of Chanukah is the opposite. It's not a light like Shabbat. This is a light that we're not allowed to enjoy. And we're going to see that we light it outside the house. We don't use it. We don't light it in. It's not a natural light that's meant for us to be using in our natural world.
But aren't we supposed to sit for 15 minutes afterwards while the candles are burning and watch them?
100%. Of course. The Gemara says not to count money in front of it, which is by the Chassid. Obviously, it's talking about using it for physical, using this light
to
bring material, physical, right? So that means that there's a deeper light. We spoke about seeing things with your eyes closed, right? Closing. Sometimes we close our eyes to enhance our vision, to help us our focus, and we're going to see that really the light of Chanukah is not really a light that we want to put on our glasses for. Maybe a light that we want to take off our glasses, or a light that we want to maybe close our eyes. When you see a person sitting by the Chanukah candle, they may be sitting there, maybe their eyes are closed, maybe they're crying, maybe they're davening, and what are they looking at? Maybe everything. But the more their eyes are closed, then the more their vision. And we're going to try to learn now more about the Pnimiut of Chanukah so we can actually have vision when we close our eyes, right? Because closing my eyes could also bring me to darkness and nothingness and boringness, and I could fall asleep. Like some people do in meditations, right? Okay. So you need to know what to have in your mind. So, but the Hasidim, Holy Baal Shem Tov teaches us that the Achana creates a kli. The word kli, a vessel, we know that everything in study has to do with vessel and light, body and soul. And the kli, that comes from the word klot nefesh. when the nefesh has klot nefesh has yearning. When a soul has a desire and a yearning, it's kind of like a female type of feeling, like a lower, but that actually creates the space that when the light comes in, it's appreciated and it's facilitated and it's working. So when it comes to with our nefesh, the more work we do before the Chag of really wanting to know what is Hanukkah, what is this magical life, what's going on, what's the depth. So we really want it. So that really expands our nefesh, it expands our inside, it gives us like our kli, our vessel. And as when Hanukkah comes, we'll be able to really appreciate the light that will go into our kisufim, into our yearning. So we're going to learn now. I'm going to read from inside because it's easy to get distracted here. I'm going to read from the Kedushat Levi, Holy Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev. It's our schut to learn Chanukah through his holy eyes. And we'll learn a little part of it, and B'ezrat Hashem. The Gemara says that the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah is mishetishka chama, from the time the sun sets, ad shetichle regel min hashuk. Every mitzvah is, the Chachamim give it limits. It could be time bound, like Shabbat, Shkia, or how much tzedakah that you have to give, or how much food do you have. Everything there's a shiur. Chachamim gave shiurim to everything. So also lighting Ner Chanukah. When is the time of Ner Chanukah? So the Chachamim say from sunset, obviously, until tichle regel min hashuk. At that time, there was the shuk, the marketplace. At the end of the day, people will go home. No street lights. You go home. And the last people to go home were the people that sold these little twigs. So like wood, kindling lights. I remember like in Mexico and stuff, you see it like at the end of the day, they come out there all selling their little twigs. So those are the last guys. That once they go in, once those guys are home, there's nobody out. There's no Pirsuma Nisa. One of the themes of Hanukkah is Pirsuma Nisa, advertising of this nest. You can see that there's a marketing aspect of your Hanukkah. As a matter of it's actually Jewish marketing. The secret of Jewish marketing is in Hanukkah, because we're going to see that Jewish marketing is not about blasting big signs. It's actually about real, sincere being, which is what the flame does. The flame is just really involved with himself, so rejoicing with the being, and that's what the dreidel does also. It's a dreidel turning. These little that's how we advertise the miracle, by really enhancing our being, not by really putting signs out there and spray painting out there and making, which out there is also good, but really it's much more in there than out there. Okay. So the Kedushat Levi says like this. So he's going to explain this Chachamim that teach us this Chazal, Chassidut. We know that everything that the Gemara teaches us is not just only halacha. The Chachamim and Gemara included in every word they said, all the halacha and the Kabbalah and everything there is to do. The language of Chachamim is very cryptic. So in a couple of words, they say endless amount of information, and the tzaddikim, they help us learn the Gemara. So what is this? Who says what? Not sure exactly which one. We're reading from the Kedusha slate, the Berditchever. Da. He's going to go into right now, there's three types of miracles that Hashem did to our nation. There's hidden nisim nistarim, nisim niglim. There are hidden miracles and revealed miracles. Revealed miracles we have like Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, we had the 10 makos, dam, tzvadeh, Hashem came. The 10 makot of Mitzrayim are parallel to the 10 sfirot that the world is created with. The Creator chooses to create the world with a system of 10. Very deep discussion. And in Mitzrayim, a culture that was denying the Creator, Mi Adonai, Paro was denying Yud Kei Vav Kei. So kadosh Baruch Hu said, I'm not only going to show the world that I exist, I'm going to show through the 10 makot that I'm going to give the Mitzrayim, I'm going to show my 10 revelations in the world, which will also be 10 strikes to the bad and also 10 healings to the good. So in every makkah, Hashem was revealing himself in one of the sfirot, from bottom to top, starting from Malchus up to Keter. And like kind of like in every sphere, Hashem's like, okay, I'm here, and therefore destroying the negative that's there and healing the good that's there. Kriyat Yam Suf, these things were absolute change of nature. These are open, revealed miracles. Peter comes into nature and he says, listen, I created nature, and nature is mine, but now I'm just like turning on the light for a second, like ignore this. Like Mordechai and Esther. Like Mordechai and Esther looked so natural. It looked like a political, there was politics there. There was a crazy king. The king kills his wife. There's elections. The Jewish girl is chosen. The Jews are so happy. Wow, we have a Jewish connection in the palace. There could be natural. That's not right. That's what Esther, the Gemara says, had to invite Haman to this feast. The Gemara says, what did Esther do? She was jeopardizing her life. You're dealing with a guy that just killed his first wife because he was jealous. He'll kill you in a second. Like, what are you doing? And after one of the opinions of the Gemara was like, yeah, she said, let me die, and then the decree will be canceled. That was one of her opinions. But one of her opinions was that she wanted to shake up the Jewish hearts. She said the Jews are they're too confident with their political connections. Let me show them that I'm not who they think they are. And they said, oh wow, if she's inviting Haman, then we're really in trouble. Now we mamash have to daven. Okay? But we see that there was some kind of natural type of teva. And also obviously the Ness of Chanukah, we see that is interesting. There's a way to look at Hanukkah as being natural, but not natural. There was a war, there was a battle in Hanukkah, which makes it natural. The fact that there was two sides of a battle, even though it was 10 Jews fighting the Hellenist movement, which I can't imagine. It's like a suicide mission, not even suicide. Yeah, it's mamish. But there was a hishtadlus, there was a derech hatel. Nes nista shem derech melchama iktzat b'tivim. But really, there was a war, but the war was totally miraculous. That's why the Maharal, he brings the Maharal here that explains that Hanukkah was also a little natural. So that means that we're going to go into miracles that are called day and miracles that are called night. There are miracles that Hashem, Nesa Mitzrayim is called Yom, Sheme'ir Lakol, where Hashem does a Nesa like Mitzrayim, then it's like a day miracle. Everyone sees. And there's a Nes Nistar like Hanukkah and Purim that's called Laila, because you could also deny it. There was some natural there was something, but with the nature, it was clear that there was a godly intervention. So the hidden miracles are divided into two parts, like Purim. So on Purim, Hashem really turned all the tables, and even though Haman had a deep conspiracy, it was a big mechashet. Haman was a deep wizard. To understand Haman, the way he chose the day to kill the Jews wasn't just the goral. Haman, the sharish of Haman is Amalek. It's goral. It's lottery. Haman was a tremendous wizard. His wife Vashti was even a bigger witch than him. She had 365 wizards under her, parallel to the 365 days of the year. They were very tremendous. Like they knew all the solar influences, and they were very involved.
This is Haman's wife?
Haman's wife, yeah. Vashti. Oh, I said Vashti? Zeresh, I mean. Zeresh.
Zeresh.
Because what?
Yeah, that's right. My bad.
She got dismissed.
She got dismissed. Oh, yeah. Vashti was dismissed by, she was. But no, sorry, Zeresh, my bad. Thank you.
Not Vashti being married to somebody else.
No, we missed both.
I meant Zeresh. Zeresh was the wife of Haman.
Yes.
Vashti was the wife of Achashverosh. My bad. So Zeresh was the real witch, and she had all these guys. And now when Haman was doing the lottery, the second he got permission from the king to kill the Jews, so he said, okay, maybe my luck is today. So he arranged it. He said, okay, today. And he said, no. It pushed him up. It can't be today. He said, okay, maybe it's not today. And he would go from yom liyom and chodesh lechodesh. He did from day to day. He said, no, is it Yud Gimel? No. So you draw a lot. Maybe it's tomorrow. No. Maybe Tetvav, tomorrow. From day to day to day, the goral, the lottery was showing him, no, this day is not a good day for you. The lottery was pushing him off. These wizards, they would do things based on their astrological calculations. So if it didn't make sense to them, if they saw like this star crossing or certain effects that didn't make sense to them, they're blocked. They would not move forward with their plan. They would wait for a time where the constellations were aligned with their plan. So the lottery was pushing him off and off and off and off till he got the Purim. Pushed him off an entire year. However, so over there was also, that was the Eitz of Haman.
So you're saying
This is
that
about
was a miracle,
Purim.
that was part of the nest?
Not about
There was, we're discussing now that also Hanukkah and also Purim, even though they're hidden miracles, there was there was all kinds of nature involved in it.
So you're saying that them consulting the astrology was part of the tea party?
That was part of, no, we're just in general discussing Haman's plot, just in general realizing his evil. But also over there was
That's kind of saying.
Esther did-
Concept team
Right,
are onto something instead of.
Esther over there was doing natural moves to remove the Jewish trust from her. So we see there was things being done by Esther or by the Hashmonaim that were natural events. They were acting, they were trying to do things in a natural way, and Hashem came and helped them. There was an involvement, a fusion of the natural attempt and the supernatural together. That's the Nakuda here. Also on Hanukkah, they fought, Milchamot Hashem, Supa'ula, but Hashem gave them Shaloi Kederech HaTeva. So we said there's three levels here. There's an Nes of Yetzias Mitzrayim, that's like totally no nature. That's a big Nes. A smaller Nes, Yetzias Mitzrayim, is Purim. And he's saying that Hanukkah is even a lesser Nes than Purim. Meaning the more there's something from below helping, the more the miracle is hidden. That's the idea that we're talking about. You could see an involvement of the creator, 100% creator, and nothing from the natural. That's like a Mitzrayim. That's a full miracle. You could see Purim where there was some involvement, but he says Hanukkah, you can see we fought a war, so there was something natural. We fought a war, and the Hashem helped and joined us. So he's breaking it down to three views of miracles.
Well,
What?
What's the difference? I didn't get it.
Even though we said at the beginning there's two, there's a miracle that's called Yom and Laila. There's miracles that are like Yetzias Mitzrayim, and there's miracles that are like Hanukkah and Purim. Also Hanukkah and Purim are also divided. He's going to break it down into really three types of levels of miracles. The first level will be the miracles of Mitzrayim. The second will be the miracles of Purim. And the third will be the miracles of Hanukkah, right?
So you said the more that Hashem is involved,
The more
more
it's
access.
right. The more miracle it is, and the less we're involved in. So if let's the truth is a little long, but let's go in a little bit and then I don't want to get stuck in the beginning because we're not going to get to the main part. There's a Ramban here that I really want to learn with you guys. So the kids are, his whole idea is that there's hidden miracles and revealed miracles. Now the Ramban, this is a famous Ramban, it's very kedai to learn. The Ramban writes at the end of Parashat Bo, מן הניסים הגדולים המפורסמים, אדם מודה בניסים הנסתרים שבסוד התורה. The Ramban over there discusses miracles and Emunah and Hashem, and the Ramban says that not in every generation a kadosh Baruch Hu chooses to reveal a miracle through a great tzaddik. We see in Mitzrayim, a kadosh Baruch Hu singled out Moshe and Aaron. Through them, a kadosh Baruch Hu showed the world that when he's involved with a human, this human will channel the light of Hashem, and Hashem will act supernaturally through the human. Hashem was showing not only that I run the world, Hashem shows that if a person has a relationship with me, then he's a partner with me in running the world. That's what Hashem was showing the world. They believe that Hashem has a relationship with man, and when Hashem chooses a single or a group, then he'll change the nature through them, as their request. At the end of Parashat Bo, the end of Parashas Bo. So from a person observing the famous miracles, a person could then also become conscious and aware of the hidden miracles in his life. Shehem Yesod Torah. The hidden miracles are the foundation of the Torah. She'en la'adam chelek b'torat Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. A person has no relationship or no connection with the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom. עד שיאמין בכל דברינו, שכולם ניסים, אין בהם טבע מנהגו של אלוהים. Till a person believes that there's no such thing as nature. I mean, a person could think, I'm learning Torah and I'm keeping mitzvot, I'm a religious Jew and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Am I? Am I really listening to God? Am I really making God proud? Am I following the Torah of Moshe? Am I being a student of Moshe? What is it? So you could look at it, yeah, you could be religious from the outside, check all the boxes and you're religious and you're a Moshe type, right? He's telling you no. If your worldview, if you're seeing the world as a natural place, you're not a student of Moshe Rabbeinu. Because the whole entire Torah is there to elevate the person's vision, to realize that there's no such thing as nature. That nature is a creation. The creator chooses to create nature, and he chooses to create above nature. And when he wants, when he chooses, everything in nature, all the natural laws make no difference. So we could only get this type of view when we believe in the hidden miracles. But then we're not supposed to believe that was. We're supposed to believe that is all the time. Even the nature that we're experiencing now, right now, the natural feeling that we're feeling right now is not real. This is how the Creator wants us to feel. If He wants it to be different, it will be totally different right now. He wants me to have Bechira. That's why He's putting me in nature.
How could He make all those beautiful things and then tell us they're not real? I mean, we have such a beautiful world. We have such beautiful sunsets. We have such beautiful moon shining on the water. We have rainbows. We have grass. We have flowers. Why would He create all that and then say, "Oh, it's not real"?
Well, it's not that it's not real like a projector on the wall. It's not real when you look at it as a standalone creation. There's a whole chain of command of reality from the Creator. When you see a rainbow here, there's a rainbow in heaven. When you see a sunset here, there's a sunset in heaven. It's much more beautiful in all the worlds. We're just seeing the tail end of things. When you disconnect the tail end from life and say, hey, nature is running alone, that's not true. So when you look at nature and say, nature is just the tail end of the ishtalshelut. So I'm remembering that everything that's natural is super real because it's the Creator creating it. It's not real to give it an independent identity.
Oh, okay,
It's
I can go
right.
with that.
Okay, that's so good. No, it's a good question because these are semantics. I could say words to the way I understand them, but it's very important that you understand. Very important. עד שנאמין בכל דברים. הנה. Okay. So now we have nature and we have above nature. We're born into nature, we're born into a body. We operate with our senses, through our physical consciousness. And if a person doesn't make an effort to remind himself of to learn the Torah and to remind himself of the truth that there's a real Borei over here, then he sleeps, then he lives in a world of darkness, a world of nature, where the cause and effect is natural. And that was really the choshech, the darkness that the Evanim, the Greeks, were bringing to the world. Where it says, "Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'haaretz ata tohu v'avohu v'choshech al pnei tehom." Beginning of creation, or the Creator creates the world as chaos and darkness. So choshech, it says in the Gemara, zu malchut Yavan. The kingship of Yavan, they brought darkness to the world. Their essence was darkness. It's funny that the darkness always prances around screaming it's light, right? The enlightenment, and I'm white, and that's what it's really, really darkness. And that's what we see that because the darkness was that what you see, only what you see is what you got, nature. Separating nature from the Creator is the ultimate darkness. Meaning it's saying that this world as it runs with its natural properties and natural laws, this is how it is. And they take it so seriously that this is the end, there's nothing else. What's beauty in Greek? Physical beauty. So is physical beauty not beautiful? Like you were saying, physical beauty is so beautiful. But is it? It depends. If the physical beauty is also connected to inner beauty, then it's beautiful. If physical beauty is not connected to inner beauty, it's horrible, right? So that's why when you have a a movement that's trying to celebrate this world, nature, just celebrate nature as if nature is the standalone being, that the universe is infinite, it's just here. So to disconnect the creation from the creator is ultimate darkness. And to say that all there is nature is ultimate darkness. And that was the wind of the Hellenist movement, the Olympics, of the body, of the beauty. This is very, very deep because Yavan, Greek, actually comes from Yefet, Shem Cham and Yefet. Yefet is connected to Yafeh, the beauty, to Yaft Elohim leYefet v'Yishkon B'Ohel Hashem. Yefet is connected to beauty. The beauty has to be connected to the creator. Then it's beautiful. When the beauty is disconnected from the creator, then it's a lie and it's dark. So,
Is that the palace of the last princess?
also, yeah, for sure. That's the lotto.
It's kind of like a sun ray. Sun ray is really connected to the sun. It's not a sun ray when it's not attached. And but doesn't mean that a sun ray isn't a real thing.
Right.
It is a real thing. It just has to be attached to the sun.
The life has to be connected to the source of life. Disconnected life is not life. It's not alive. You look like you have a tail of the lizard. The lizard, if you catch him by the tail, he'll run away and the tail stays, and it could still wiggle for another, I don't know, minute. So the tuma in the language of Kabbalah is called the tail of the lizard, because it looks like it's alive, but it's disconnected from its source of life. To the contrary, we spoke about mikvah the other time. Mikvah is going to Mayim Chaim. The whole idea of Mayim Chaim is connected to the source of life. When the external is connected to the source, then it's actually alive and beautiful, and that's when it's real. So at the end of the second Beit HaMikdash, the great darkness of Yavan dawned on the world and aimed to conquer the world, and with the mission of enlightenment, of indulging in material and physical pleasures of the world, saying, wow, what a beautiful nature there is, and this is all there is. Choshech. So the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah, the victory of Ner Chanukah is dafka going to be with light. Since the darkness their fight was darkness. The celebration, we could celebrate it in many ways. There was also a great celebration of a war. We don't celebrate the war. The main thing that we celebrate in Chanukah is the contrast of the dark to the light. That's why Chanukah is also in the longest nights. Chanukah is in the winter, in the long nights, in the dark. The mitzvah of Ner Chanukah, the position of the mitzvah is also very interesting. Normally, like we said, Nel Shabbat, we bring it into the home to bring the light of Hashem into the family, into the love, into the shalom. This light of Chanukah, that goes into Reshut HaRabim. Reshut HaRabim is a public domain. You know, in the halachic domains of Shabbat, there's a Reshut HaYachid and Reshut HaRabim. You have a private house is yours, but then you have a public. What it means in spirituality is that when a person is in a consciousness of Echad, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, when he's living in the world, and the world, he's living in a one world. Yeah, you're living in many homes, but there's one consciousness. Like we have an Eruv. An Eruv is when you take many, many homes and you surround them together. Now they become one home. So the same thing. So when a person's living in a world, yes, there's multiplicity, but when he believes in Emunah, so he's living in Reshut HaYachid. He's living in the Reshus of Yachid, Yechida Shalayla. If a person is living still in the multiplicity and the Bilbulim, he's living with a rabbin, he's living with Klipot, he's living in the many. So Neshamot.
No, leave it.
So the Mishnah says in Shabbat, we're jumping around a little bit, but we're trying to get one in here. The Mishnah says in Shabbat, Tilot v'shmanim, shamru chachamim, en madlikim b'hem b'Shabbat, madlikim b'hem b'Chanukah. The Mishnah goes through a whole list of different wicks and different oils that cannot be used on Shabbat. And then at the end, the Mishnah says all this long list of bad wicks and bad oils that you cannot use on Shabbat, you could use them on Hanukkah. Why can't you use them on Shabbat? Because on Shabbat you want a beautiful light in your home. So you want to have olive oil that gives a nice light. You're gonna have oil that the oil's jumping or giving a bad smell. People are gonna leave. Ner Chanukah, no problem. You could use anything. So that's the pshat. But the Hasidim explain that a ner ptila shem, and we know in every Jew is called a nefesh. Nefesh nun pei shin. Right? Nun nefesh is Rashi Tevot ner ptila shemen. A candle, classic candle is some kind of a vessel with oil and a wick. That's what you need to have a candle. So a human being, the human being is always compared to a candle. The consciousness of a human being is always compared to a candle. And therefore the physical human being also represents mamash, a candle. We have a body. You look at your body holding your blood or holding some kind of brain, which is holding a consciousness. You look at a ptila, so that means that there's a person comes into this world. This world is a place of bchira. You could be in Reshut HaYachid, Reshut HaRabim, you could remember God, not remember God. Now, there's times in your life a person could go into the 6 days of the week and forget about God, get involved in pursuit of world, of material, and comes Shabbat, they stop. They pull back from the world. They pull their hands back. They forget everything. Kol malachtecha asuyah. Their wife lights Shabbat candles. They go to shul. They get elevated. Shabbat get elevated Jew. But not everyone. Not everyone. Chachamim teach us that the some ptilot, a candle is really a soul. There's souls that can be lit by Shabbos. There's a soul that's in this world, and he's lost in the physical and the material. But when Shabbos comes, his consciousness, his truth, his neshama, his yeshera, his essence comes to his memory, and he wakes up. But the souls that got so involved that also Shabbos doesn't wake them up. What wakes them up? Chanukah. Tilot v'shmanim. That's what they said, that the wicks, the souls, which is wicks, which is essences that are so caught in Reshut HaRabim, they're so caught in the multiplicity of the world. They're so caught in nature. They're so caught by the Greek. They're caught in that illusion. In the Olympics. What's Olympics? I'm pretty because I'm prettier than you. And I'm faster because I'm faster than you. And I'm richer because I'm richer than you. It's like, what a horrible, it's like you have to put someone else down to like feel, you can't just be good because you are. Right? People get into this rush. So many neshamas Shabbos can't disconnect. It's so sad. Kids grow up in homes, the parents keep Torah mitzvot. Nisyanot are too big. Shabbos, they can't not text on their phone. Kids get caught in smoking, they get this and that. Shabbos, they get Shabbos. You know, the mothers, we light Shabbos, you guys light Shabbos candles. You know, in general, all lighting candles, the Ramban writes this in a different place, that the Hanukkah candles are really a kedusha of the Shabbos candles and the candles of the Beit Knesset. Whenever you light a candle, this effect is happening. Because if you look at it, right, we have a minhag that we light candles for every one of your kids. Why? Come Shabbos, you light a candle for this kid, this kid, this. When you daven, it's such a special time, such a holy time. Why? Because that's what's going on. That's what we are. We are candles. We're all essences. We're all kalim that have physical material, and we all have a wick. And we could have a godly consciousness associated with us. God could be shining the world to us. Yes or no? It depends on you. So when Shabbos comes, every mother stops her life as this creator of the world. You put us in this world, but that's not enough. If we're in this world and we forget who we are, we get sunk into the world. So you gave us Shabbos. You gave us the time to disconnect from everything. Why? So we could remember, so we can regain a consciousness of who we are. We go into Olam Haba, Me'en Olam Haba. We go into a world where there's no rich, no poor, no distance, no traveling, no nothing. Total Shabbos, it's a bubble. So you light candles. When you light candles, so precious when you light a candle for your kid. When you're bringing down, you're asking Hashem, light his neshama. So special. So this neshamas that even Shabbos are so caught up. You're a big tzaddik, all the Chayza Lublin, Seer Lublin used to see from everything that was, everything that is. He once came to him. There was once a Jew that was causing so much tsaras. He was telling on the government. He was sending Jews to the government, doing all kinds of tsaras. And they came to the Chayza on Hanukkah. Said this is a good time. Said maybe like curse him out or something. Like finish him off now by the candles. And he says, "What are you talking about? I see him now. He looks like the high priest in Daniel Kippur, because that Yid was lighting candles at that time." So Imam saw Hanukkah is a very, very deep segula, this light of Hashem. Because Hanukkah is the mitzvah that Hashem gives us as we go into the deepest galus. We know that mitzvot really are 613 mitzvot deoraita. Chachamim add 7 mitzvot derabanan. 7 mitzvot derabanan that were added: Tilat Yadayim, Halel, Megillah. The final mitzvah, the last mitzvah that was added was Adlakat Ner Chanukah. This was the last mitzvah, which brings up some numbers to 620. 620 is Gematria Keter, crown. So the crown mitzvah, the final mitzvah that was given to us, was the mitzvah of the Keter, of Chanukah. That means that Hashem says, you're going into, in hindsight, we can see this, you're going into 2,000 years ago. You're going into, after Yavan comes Edom. Edom is like, wow, Gevald. Edom, no one knows when this galus is ending. Even Yaakov Avinu, when he saw them going up, he saw Yavan went up a little bit and came down. Bava went up. When Edom went up, they never came down. And Yaakov got serious. He said, what? They're not going to come down? And Hashem showed him the pasuk of Ovadia. He said, don't worry. Even if he puts his nest in the stars, I'll smash him down from there. Don't worry. Hashem's going to bring him down. That's Edom. But Hashem saw that we're going into this bitter. Look at what our nation has been through. The inquisitions and the pogroms and the crusades and the Holocaust. Can't imagine what our nation has been through. And Hashem says there's one real big segula, one big precious mitzvah you guys must have. My crown mitzvah. The light that could light no matter what. The keter always symbolizes a light. That means it's a light that the day and the night, the dark and everything is equal in the keter. It's all much higher. And this light is necessary for us to remember Hashem in this dark galut of Edom. So that means that Hashem made it, that the Yavanim will be beaten in a miraculous way. And it wasn't that year that they made the Yom Tov. That year they celebrated, they were so happy. And many miracles happened to our nation. Many. The sea was split many times to many Chachamim in the Gemara. No big deal, no one made a story out of it. Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, and you name it. The Gemara says next year, the following year, when Hanukkah season came around, they said, hey, that Kedusha is still here. That love, that effect, that showing of love that we had last year is still here. The next year they made it a Yom Tov. So that means this light is not a one-time appearance that happened where the Creator came down and blitzed the world with light and destroyed them. No, this is something that our nation needs, each one of us needs, going into this dark galut of Edom, where no one knows the end of this galus. Now it's Edom and Yishmael, like Reb Chaim Vital says, at the end of the days, Yishmael joins Edom. That's the Shor v'Chamor. They give birth to the Kelev, the crossbreed of the Shor v'Chamor is the dog, the Erev Rav, Shem Etzilenu man. So this is a mitzvah that we need to have. We need to have the crown, the love, the infinite of Hashem with us. That's the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah. That's why this mitzvah is obviously symbolized by 8. 8 is always above nature. 7 is the number of nature. 7 is the stamp of nature. The 7 days, the cycle of nature. Shivat Aminim, everything you look in the world, Shiva Aratzot, Shiva Aklimim, everything is Sheva. Shmona is Brit Milah, Tzitzit, Chanukah, supernatural. Shmona, V'Yom HaShmini. Yom HaShmini is Atzeret, Matan Torah, Simchat Torah. Yom HaShmini, Shmini is Olam Haba. So that means that the Creator, with His love, gives us Yamim Tovim. He gives us days that He shines in, and He sees that we need this so much in our galut, and He gives us this time of Chanukah, not to celebrate history. We're never in history. We're always in the present. We have to remember that as much darkness as we're experiencing through our physical senses, that's not true. There's something deeper and higher going on. There's a miracle of Hanukkah going on. Hashem is running the world. The koach of Am Yisrael to stay in this truth, no matter how dark the darkness is. That's the koach of Hanukkah. That a Yehudi could be in Reshut HaRabim. It could be at night, and we're going to learn more next week. We'll learn Sfas Emes. There's many, many aspects of this miracle, where the essence of this miracle is there's no darker time to bring this light than Hanukkah. We see also in the parashot of these weeks, even the parashas we read during these weeks, all the parashas of the dreams, Yosef's dreams and Paro's dreams. It's times of night and times of dreams, and that's what really dreams are. Dreams are godly lights that shine into darkness. That's what it is. So this is what. So let's just go back a little bit. So this is what it means that mitzvah Chanukah is achet tichle regel min hashuk. That the mitzvah of Chanukah, al pi Chasidut, so we said is the physical time is from sunset till the last guys are in the market. But we're saying that al pi pnimiyut, the mitzvah is from sunset. That means when the sun goes down, when the light goes down, and can't see anything. Till when is the mitzvah of Chanukah going to be needed? Till tichle regel min hashuk. Tichle regel min hashuk. Shuk means the lower world. And regel means regilut. Because the koach of Amalek is to say regilut, that everything is just happening, it's coincidence. And that's really the koach of nature, is that there's cause and effect, and this army is this, and this politics is this, and that the world is running in a natural way. And we have to fill ourselves so much on Hanukkah with such emunah in Hashem through feeling this Nes Hanukkah, that in our own world, there's no regel min hashuk. In our own world, we feel like the rules of nature are not the dominant rules. The rules of nature are optional rules that the Creator is putting in the world so we could have free will. And we're absolutely certain and sure of the supernatural. And we know that the natural is a choice that He's making. We're not impressed by nature. We're not bound by nature. We're right now basking in the light of these 8 days where our nation believed where 10 of our little rabbis ran into the Hellenist army. What do I care about this? It's because I also have an army attacking me. And I'm also about to surrender to nature. And I could say, I can't do this. Every Jew is about to surrender to some natural darkness in their life. In this generation, for sure. And every Jew needs something deeper and telling them, you're not natural. Don't fall for that shtick. Don't fall for that lie. So we have to tell ourselves on Chanukah, Bayamim Ahem, Bazman Hazeh. This is the Hashem. We want this type of look that was necessary, that you gave us to make a Yom Tov out of it. This wasn't just necessary for that generation. Every Jew needs to feel this throughout the entire generation, that you're with us. How can we feel that you're with us? When I'm sitting there, those 15 minutes or half hour, when you're sitting by the candles, you're looking at the candles. What are you looking at? It's not natural light. You're remembering the truth. We're looking at the emes. The pasuk in Tehillim says, "Shlach orcha v'amitecha hema yanchuni." Send your light and your truth. Light is truth. LeDavid Adonai ori v'yish'i. Light is salvation. Light is truth. When I'm standing by the Hanukkah candles, it's not little candles I'm looking at. I'm in my mind remembering and focusing and meditating and appreciating the truth, the emes, that there's no nature. That nature is a choice given to me by the Creator, so I could upgrade it, so we could go above it, like the Noam Elimelech teaches us. Why do we have a nature? Adam lo nivra rak leshaber hateva. The given nature you were given is only to upgrade. It's only to break. No one is meant to stay with the same horrible midot they were born with the same natural self, and say, "This is how I am. Take me as I am." No way. We're here to change. We're here to modify. We're here to grow. Every part of our being, every stone of our being has to be turned over. Person shouldn't die one bit the way they were when they started. Everything should be reversed. Alavai. So our generation, that's really, one sense, at the end of Galut, but really the young generation is really into mindfulness and meditation. It's amazing that the mindfulness is really kavanah. To sit by the Hanukkah candles is the most simple and beautiful and necessary meditation. To sit there and to say, wait, with my physical senses, I'm experiencing the physical world, That's not all it. It's a part of the truth. It's a part of the truth. But now, in this light of what's happening, of my nation, of what we're going through, I know there's so much more. So therefore, I could right now tackle all the challenges in my life. In the light of Hanukkah, nothing is unbeatable. You feel weak? You feel that you don't know anything? Good. Perfect. Like, let's put a list. You feel like you're alone. You feel like you're weak. You feel like you don't know anything. You feel like, great. Well, this is great. This is the season for you then. Because this is the time where the Creator is showing you that you're put into there, but nature is not going to decide the battle. And when we're really, really connected, then we can bring it into our life. Because so many of us live in Yeush. Nachman of Breslov scream. Ain't shum Yeush ba'olam. Wow, it's like big. Think about what's the big noise? No despair, no giving up. So you think, okay, a guy standing on the bridge, should I jump? Don't jump. Yeah, jump. Don't jump. You think that's Yeush. All right, that's an extreme case. But sometimes you meet a person and they're not davening for something, which is basically all of us. Why? Because we gave up. Because we gave up. Because it doesn't make sense. Like we play God in our mind and we do some kind of play God calculation and we're like, I tried long enough. It's not this. Who do I think I am? Or some kind of Sahara. And that's called Yeush. Why are you surrendering? Because of your natural calculations. That's not real. That's nature. So you're right. So if that's the darkness that we're in, when Hanukkah comes, our mind wakes and says, what are you doing? You're believing in nature? There's no nature. There is no nature. So therefore, open that space when you're sitting by the candles, open all the battles in your heart, every relationship in your life, everything. Allow everything to be open. And tell God, wow, maybe I didn't thought I could never forgive this person for 30 years. And I really can't. I really need a miracle for that. Okay, I'm asking you for a miracle. There's nothing wrong. Look at Hanukkah. What do kids do on Hanukkah? Get presents from their parents. Why? Why do kids get presents on Hanukkah? Not because of Christmas. We were there first. Jews invented Christmas. Why do we get presents on Hanukkah? Because we act in earth the way they act in heavens. And in heavens, they're giving up presents on Hanukkah. So on earth, we give out presents. Why do we spend dreidel? Because there's magical winnings in dreidel. My little boy could win 100 shekel on one island dreidel. Wow. The whole year he doesn't make 100 shekel. Dreidel night, Dovi wins. Right? Why? It's the same thing. Why did Hashem make lottery in the last generations? A person could win the lottery because it's spiritual lottery. There's things that a person can do that are small. Being close to Hashem doesn't have to be very difficult and very. You could win the lottery. There's miracle seasons. So Hashem is giving it. But if a person is going to stay in nature inside themselves, then they stay under nature. And they'll stay under the nature and under the zodiac, and they're predictable according to anything. But if a person chooses to elevate themselves and say, that's what the Ramban is teaching us, that the whole entire Torah, and that's what the Baal Tanya also writes, the Torah is not independent mitzvot, a bunch of, no. The Torah has one theme. There's a yesod and there's a shoresh. There's a root, there's a foundation for the Torah. It's to elevate, to lift up our identity, to lift up who we are, to lift up the identity of what Hashem is in our life. And really, Chanukah is really the time to no matter where you are, the light is coming down to you. There's the month of Tishrei is the month of so much Avodat Hashem. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Aseret Teshuvah, really so much work. And that's why the month of Tishrei is symbolized by the month Tav, Shin, Reish. Tishrei is the returning light. It's not the Aleph base going Aleph base, Gimel, Dalet from up to down. The Aleph base could also go from top to bottom. Top to right? Top from bottom to top. So it could go from Tav, and then Shin, and then Reish. That would be as if the letters going from the bottom and going back up. So that's like in this world, doing a lot of avodah, like doing work, But Chanukah is not about doing work. It's about wherever you are, in Rosh Hashanah, in the dark, doesn't make a difference. Another thing is lemata masarat tefachim, the location of the Hanukkah candle. We're supposed to light it below 10 tefachim. 10 tefachim is also a halachic, very big halachic area. Many inyanim. And the Gemara says that the Shechina, the presence of Hashem, never revealed below 10 tefachim. The Gemara in Sukkah discusses this, that 10 tefachim is like, imagine like a certain conscious space of consciousness that the Creator makes, so there could be humanity. Like he creates a space of 10, the 10 spheres, the 10 tefachim, which in that space is the human consciousness. And he doesn't reveal himself in the 10 tefachim, because if he were revealed within it, then there'd be no bechira, right? So the 10 tefachim is like that place, like the sukkah. So he's revealed above it, and we're in it, and now we have bechira. We could look through the skach or not. We could feel like we're in a house. We have bechira. That's the whole world's like a sukkah, really. Hanukkah, the mitzvah of lighting the menorah is below asar tefach. That means that we're embodying what the light is doing. The light of Hashem, which is the true essence of Hashem, which is the awareness He is above nature, that He creates everything, that all the rules of nature are nothing by Him. That light, which normally is above, which hovers over the world, which allows the world to have free will, now enters the world, enters the human consciousness, and doesn't just enter the human consciousness for people that are rose above. People that are under Asar Tfachim, you could be in Rosh Hashanah in the darkness. That consciousness is entering, it's the keter, it's the crown, it's the endless love of Hashem that's saying you need once a year to be totally awakened from the facade and the sleep of nature, the dark of nature, and to totally remember the truth and the essence. So the light goes above, it goes into Asar Tfachim. We never find this in any other mitzvah. Okay? So this is another angle of seeing the light of Hashem come in this way. Okay, let's wrap it up. As each one of us experiences darkness in the world and we're aware of the light, we're building excitement in our being. We're welcoming the Yom Tov of Hanukkah, the light of Hanukkah. We're asking Hashem that the truth of His light, the light of His truth, Ochava Mitecha, should really shine in the consciousnesses of all the beings of the world, no matter where they find themselves, no matter how public the domain they may be in, no matter how dark their position maybe is, no matter how low their position is. We're asking Hashem that this special gift of Hanukkah that He gave us, that is necessary for us to survive this galut, that we want to welcome it in our life, we want to feel it, we want to feel it in our thoughts. And in that light, we want to be redeemed. We want to forgive everyone. We want to forgive everything. We want to feel the truth of Hashem. We don't want to be stuck by anything natural. We want the supernatural truth that we're experiencing through the mitzvah of Hanukkah to enter our consciousness and to wash away and to heal all the stuckness that we have from our nature. All the stuckness that we have from our nature. The Yiratzon, that we should see this year, all of us, we should see this year really a tremendous filling of our private worlds with light. You see the filling of your children and your husbands and your families and your loved ones around you. And may we have the zchut to really invite the real consciousness of Hashem that we're so waiting for. That really we want the whole world to be redeemed from the low level of consciousness, from the pain that it brings. And we want the world to we want the world to rejoice with the Creator.
Thank you.
Hanukkah Sameach. there's a lot on this topic, so.